Hello to wherever you are in the world today. I'm in the Gloucestershire Cotswolds in the UK and it's a glorious morning. The sun's just peeking through the clouds and looks like it's going to be a warm, refreshing day. Welcome to Let's Walk About It, and today Lola and I will be walking about mindfulness. So for those of you that haven't come across mindfulness before, or maybe heard about it, I'm assuming you've heard about it because otherwise you probably wouldn't have clicked on this video. So mindfulness, the definition of mindfulness is being connected through the senses to the present moment without judgment. In other words, getting out of your head, out of thoughts about what you've already done that you might regret or might be concerning you, but you've already done it, which means you can't go back and undo it. But often people are in the present moment physically, but mentally their mind is reflecting back, remembering, recollecting, recollecting, collecting up memories and experiences of the past, bringing them forward into the present moment. And if those memories and those recollections make you feel good, then it's a good thing, as long as you don't do it too much, as long as you're not doing it all the time, as long as you're focusing so much on the past that you are not noticing what you're doing in the present. And maybe for me now, if I was thinking too much of the past, I might trip myself up as I was walking along. I need to be mindful of the present moment. What is my body doing in the present moment? But we live in a world where our minds have been captured by information and narratives and stories that take our mind to things in the past and bring them into the present. And that doesn't always feel great. And my suggestion, my invitation to you is, if you find yourself dwelling in the past and you don't want to be dwelling in the past, then learning to become more mindful in the present moment will probably be something that's very good for you. Now, not only do we dwell on the past and bring that into the present moment, but sometimes we have learned to project into the future, to think about things in the future. Sometimes you could call that planning and foreseeing, which again, if that's bringing you value to the present moment, if you're thinking about something in the future and you're bringing it to the present moment so you can create something you're looking forward to and going to enjoy in the future, just imagining a brighter future when maybe right now doesn't feel so great. If that brings you joy, if that brings you comfort, then that's a good thing. But if you get into the habit of doing that too much and you're always living in a future, a dream that isn't actually reality, and you invest too much time in doing that, again, your body is in the real world, the body is in the present moment, but your mind has escaped to some to some future, some dream or hope of a future which isn't real. It's a little bit like going into virtual reality. It's a form of virtual reality, I guess. Sometimes looking to the future and worrying and being fearful of the future. That's not a great way to be using your mind either. That's the opposite of mindful. We call it worrying. And I used to worry quite a lot about the future and what the future might bring. But I'm in my 60s now, and most of the things I worried about when I was younger actually never happened. And the things that happened that I needed to deal with, I was able to deal with them better if I was in the present moment, responding to what was happening and was prepared for what was happening, than having escaped into the past or into the future in my thinking and just leaving my body to cope with what was going on. So mindfulness is, by definition, the opposite of projecting into the future and bringing it into the present moment, or remembering and recalling from the past and bringing it to the present moment. It's actually being in the present moment. And the simplest way to do that is to just stop and listen and look and touch, sometimes smell. Tasting's a good way to be in the present moment as well. Noticing what you're putting into your mouth. I like to smell my food before I put it in my mouth. I was taught as a child that the nose is above your mouth, because before you put anything in your mouth, you're supposed to smell it, and the nose on the top of the mouth is the best place to put your nose. And if you smell it and you get a horrible feeling in your stomach, or you just don't like that smell, just don't put that in your mouth. But so many people now eat so quickly and they eat so mindlessly that the food is going in without them having any mindful awareness of what that food smells like, what that food tastes like, not even taking time to chew food, so that food just materializes in the stomach without the stomach having any pre-warning of what food is coming into their stomach. So it's no wonder we get a lot of indigestion problems. So, a great way to practice mindfulness is mindful eating. So, I look at what I'm going to eat, I smell what I'm going to eat, and then I pop it in my mouth, but I don't swallow it straight away. I chew it for a while, and I savor what I'm eating. And then when I swallow it, my brain and my nervous system has already sent a message to my gut to let my gut, or give my gut some sort of pre-warning of what's heading its way, so that the gut can prepare itself to break down that food in a healthy way. So mindful eating is a wonderful thing to do. Mindful listening to the soundscape all around me here is a soundscape. And because it's a misty day and there's low cloud with lovely sunshine coming through it as well, the sound is very different this morning. So I can hear traffic in the distance, I can hear birdsong closer up, I can hear my voice as I'm speaking to you. I can even hear my feet on the floor as I'm walking now, and a breeze in my ears through these headphones. You might be able to pick it up as well. So it's a wonderful soundscape, and I'm listening to that soundscape in the present moment, right now. I'm not in the past, I'm not in the future. I've escaped the past, I've escaped worrying about the future, and I'm in the present moment, mindful, aware of what I'm hearing, aware of what I'm seeing around me. Just over here, well, you've got these lovely yellow flowers behind me here, but then I've noticed these blue and white bells. Who knew there were white bells as well as blue bells? Wonderful. Just looking into that now as well. There's bluebells, there's white bells, there's nettles, there's a whole diversity there that I'm walking past most days. And sometimes if I've got a lot going on in my mind, I'll just walk straight past that and not even notice it. But when I gaze at these views, when I look at these views and I stop to notice, that feels good. That feels so much better than dwelling on something in the past that brought me pain then, or brought me discomfort then, and I'm just bringing that back to the present moment and remembering that discomfort and that upset. Looking at this in the present moment and listening to the sounds and feeling my feet on the ground and smelling the fresh air is so much more comforting. It's an escape from dwelling. It's an escape from worrying. It's an escape from focusing and fixating too much on some future time that I'm hoping is going to be better than maybe the time I'm in right now. But the wonderful thing about coming out into nature, and that sort of brings me on to what I call natural mindfulness, which is what I practice and what I share with people. For me, natural mindfulness is a mindfulness connected to nature, but it's also connected to our nature, what we find natural, what we can do naturally. So the wonderful thing about natural mindfulness is you don't have to learn how to do it. It's more about you remember how to do it, or you reconnect to a time when you were doing that, when you were naturally mindful. As children, we were all naturally mindful. I don't know about you, I can remember times when, I'd only popped out for 5 minutes and my parents said, well, I'll be back in 10 minutes for your tea. And I'd have popped out and next thing I know, an hour has gone by because I've been so lost in nature, looking, listening, climbing, playing, feeling, smelling, sometimes tasting as well. And I was just completely immersed in the present moment. I have this way my wife says I seem to work on 2 levels of time, according to my wife. She says I work on now and not now. So for me, if it's not now, it's not important. If it's now, it's important. And it can be a bit infuriating for her. And so I am mindful of that, the effect I have and the way I live has on other people as well. And that is the key thing about mindfulness in life, mindfulness on purpose, natural mindfulness on purpose, is that you become more aware of what you need in order to thrive and grow, and what those you care about and others around you need to thrive and grow as well. So you become aware of that. Another word for mindfulness is awarefulness. I often say to people as well, if you want to get an understanding of what mindfulness is, think about the opposite of that. So the opposite of mindfulness would be mindlessness, mind emptiness, mindlessness. And I see quite a lot of people, and used to be one of those people, who go through my life and every day is the same. Every day when I'm traveling, it's so much the same that the days blend into each other, and I was living on automatic pilot. Quite often I would miss a turning because I was just so focused on going the way I'd always gone that I just got dragged along in the mainstream. And sometimes when it was to my advantage to maybe get off the mainstream and maybe take a different direction, I was so programmed into doing things the same way, a mindless way, that I often missed those opportunities to take a different path, maybe a different path that led closer to my true nature, and instead felt I was in the mainstream, heading often in the direction that everybody else was going, but wasn't a natural and right direction for me. Another opposite of mindfulness is mind wandering, where some people believing that they're being mindful in the present moment, but actually their mind is wandering off. It's going off, and there's no actual direction to it. In terms of judgment, mindfulness, traditional mindfulness is very much about non-judgmental, seeing things as if for the first time. But for me, natural mindfulness is slightly different to that. Natural mindfulness is purposeful in terms of having a direction, but the direction you're going in is the natural direction. It's not a manipulated or learned direction that someone else is trying to get you to go in. Again, it's natural, not unnatural. So natural mindfulness, the opposite of natural mindfulness is manufactured mindlessness or unnatural mindlessness. So there's my contemplations and wanderings around mindfulness. So today I encourage you to go out, maybe invest some time with nature and practice just being mindful in that space, looking at the colours around you, listening to the different sounds in the soundscape, picking something up and touching it that's natural. Maybe give it a smell, see what it smells like. So flowers are quite nice, but I would say for anything in nature that's attached, please don't detach it. I mean, you can just smell it, maybe bend down and smell it from where you are rather than pick it and take it up. I always encourage people to only pick up things that nature has already discarded and put down, and be mindful of where you go in nature as well. Walk carefully, because there's always nature beneath your feet. So another reason I like to walk mindfully in nature is it stops me from stepping on things and damaging things as well. So enjoy your day, have a go at that. Come back online, come back on and maybe drop a note under this video, or come on to I have an online group now that I've set up on Nature Connection World, which is my community, my online community for people who share my passion for nature consciousness. And so I'll put a link again under this video so you can come along and join us there, come into the group. I post these videos up in the group as well, so it gives people an opportunity to discuss the videos, maybe and add questions and ask me around about the videos and add their own insights and understandings to the videos as well, and do that as a community, because there's lots of well-being to be found in being in a community of people that are from your own tribe. Somebody once said to me they love Nature Connection World because they feel they've found their tribe. As well as that, I'll put a link under this video too, because I have a new Discover Natural Mindfulness in 7 Days course. It's $9.99, available in the UK and abroad. And again, I'll put details below that. It's a 7-day program, 9 videos, me out like this, sharing some natural mindfulness practices. And if you fancy doing that, the great thing about it is you can do the course in your own space, at your own pace, wherever you live. Whether you live in the countryside, whether you live in the towns and cities, nature is everywhere, and natural mindfulness practice can be done everywhere. So come along, join that course as well. There's a group for that course, like there's a group for these videos too, where you can start to meet other people that are on the course and have been through the course, and start sharing your experiences with them online. But the wonderful thing is it gets you offline too. So my aim is to bring people online, to encourage them to get offline and enjoy beautiful spaces like this, and to discover more about nature and their true nature. So I hope you've enjoyed Let's Walk About It. If you have, tell others about it. Please help me share it, subscribe to the channel, leave me comments, leave me thumbs up and likes. That's always great for the algorithm to help get these videos out and more people seeing them. And enjoy whatever it is you're going to be doing today, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care. Bye bye.